What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this one here, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Transcended potential and just kind of seeing if it really was a big improvement for the characters or not. So basically what I did for this video, or what I'm going to be comparing, is just how these characters did against Galactus, because that's just kind of like the raw damage. So I didn't really test them against World Boss Ultimate, but that's mainly because I don't really have many videos of them already done before, you know, the update happens, because I can't really go back and like transcend them or whatever to test them out. So I have all of these transcendent characters, so I'm gonna be looking at Blue Dragon, Doc Ock, Mystique, Red Skull, and Shadow Shell. Those are the ones that I'll be kind of talking about in this video here. And basically what I did is I just looked back at my previous videos where I had taken them in against Galactus after getting their awakening skill for the first time. So if you want to see any of those videos, which is pre-transcendence for them, feel free to look on my look back on my channel there. I'll have them linked in the description below for each of the characters. I don't have the videos up of them after Transcendence, so I just took, you know, I just brought them in against Galactus, wrote down the numbers, took a screenshot, but I do have those clips recorded, so if you do want to see any of these characters go against Galactus after I've already transcended them, feel free to let me know. If not, I'm just going to be going over kind of like the numbers here today. So first character up is going to be Blue Dragon. So all of the characters got an increase in their base stats even before Transcendence, which I was kind of surprised about, because I thought they said that after implementing this new system here that they were going to rebalance the character stats. But when I was looking back at my previous videos when they were fighting Galactus, I do show their stat page, and their stats were higher now than they were in the past before Transcendence. So before I, you know, transcended them, these stats were still, oh, actually, you know what? Just talking about that now, I think I know what the difference is. I got their gears to 25, and my previous videos, their gears weren't at 25, so that is a difference. So never mind, maybe the stats are actually a little bit lower, but on average, after I got all the gears to 25, yeah, their stats were higher after the change as well. So, okay, yeah, maybe that was the discrepancy there. But anyway, that's going to be the only change. So it was the gears being not at 25 previously, and also not being transcendent. So yeah, all right, my Blue Dragon here, we'll just take a quick look. Probably the important things are just going to be the Isolate set and then the Obelisk here. None of the stuff has changed from now and then in the previous videos. So when I fought him, you know, way back in the past against Galactus, they still all have the same CTP or Obelisk on them. So none of the stats has changed except for the gears being at 25 and them being transcended. So that's the only differences. So we have a lightning damage, max HP 180 proc here. So previously, before Transcendence and before the update, Blue Dragon managed to do 46.7 million damage in the 10 minutes. So she did basically, you know, 4.6 million damage per minute. And then after the change there, and after transcending her, she did 16.1 million in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So it was a really quick battle there, so I didn't have the full duration, but if we average that out, that is 5 million damage per minute. So she got about a 500,000 boost per minute in her damage if we're looking strictly at Galactus there. So she did get a pretty good buff there. 500,000 per minute is, you know, pretty nice. It's nothing to kind of just dismiss right there. And then after Blue Dragon, we can go ahead and take a look at Doc Ock. So Doc Ock here, again, nothing has changed. We have Hawk's Eye. We have a 140 proc on him with Ignore Dodge and Ignore Defense. Yeah, as you can see, all the gears are 25 now. And I haven't touched them in terms of Uru as well. So literally nothing has changed except for the Transcendence in the gear level itself. For Doc Ock, before the changes, he was doing 23.7 million in the 10 minutes. So that's 2.3 million per minute. And then after the change, he did 26.3 million in the 10 minutes. So that's 2.6 million per minute. So that means he was getting about a 0.3 million increase in damage per minute, or 300k damage per minute increase. So not bad, a little bit less than Blue Dragon from the limited kind of testing that I did there, or the limited kind of resources I had available to me. And now we can go ahead and look at Mystique here. So Mystique is one that they were kind of saying could have been weaker after the updates if you didn't transcend her, but I didn't really notice it too much because the stats were still about the same, but that was after, of course, getting her gears up to 25. She has Power of Angry Hulk and a CTP of Energy on with a 200% proc, and before the update and before the Transcendence, she did 73.5 million damage in 8 minutes and 53 seconds, so that comes out to 8.6 million damage per minute. And then after the update here, or after the Transcendence, she is now doing 46.7 million in just 5 minutes. So that means she went up to 9.3 million per minute. So she got a 700,000 increase per minute, or 0.7 million per minute, which is actually pretty nice. So far she's got the biggest upgrade out of all of the other Transcendent characters that I've looked at. But now we'll move on to Red Skull here, and Red Skull kind of surprised me, so I don't know what changed, because for all of these clears I did the exact same team as well. I guess I didn't mention that in the beginning, but I did the exact same team, so same lead and same support character, because I looked back at my previous videos, so I just wanted to match that. But Red Skull here, he got a really big buff for some reason, or he's doing more damage for some reason than the other Transcendent characters. Because originally, before Transcendence, he was doing 34.5 million, and that was over the entire 10 minutes. So that's only 3.4 million damage per minute. But then after Transcendence, he did 51.6 million in the 10 minutes. So that's 5.1 million damage per minute. So that means he got an increase of 1.7 million damage per minute. And I'm not really sure if I just did, like, I don't know if I was just playing him wrong before or something, or if I was using a different skill rotation or what, but yeah, looking back at my past video before his Transcendence, which still, you know, still has his awakening skill. So all these characters that I'm going over, I did have their awakening skill on the before testing. And then yeah, he just, I don't know, he's hitting a lot harder. He has Overdrive on and a CTP of Destruction with a 200% proc. Besides that, only his gears have changed, so I'm not really sure why he was hitting so much harder, or why he got such a significant buff there. Maybe it had to do with his awakening skill, but it doesn't look like it, because a lot of the characters that previously had an all attack 50% and all defense 50% are now at 25%. And then characters that had, was it 30% to start off with, are boosted up to the 50%. So it's kind of like a swapping going on there. So yeah, I'm not sure where that extra damage came from. I guess it just has to be base stats. So his base stats have to have gotten a pretty big buff from that. So Red Skull is looking like one of the most valuable characters in terms of Transcendence and getting, you know, more out of it. And then if we move on to Shadow Shell here, Shadow Shell, we have Overdrive on, and we have a 180 poison damage obelisk here. And then Shadow Shell, which is kind of the lowest of the pack here, was doing 21 million in 10 minutes. So she was only doing 2.1 million per minute. And then after the Transcendence, she moved up to 9.2 million in 3 minutes and 18 seconds, which came out to 2.9 million damage per minute. So she got a 0.8 million damage increase, or an 800,000 damage increase. So she did get a noticeable increase there, but still not really cutting it for Galactus, so that didn't really boost her up quite enough, or maybe it just puts her right at the threshold actually. So she's probably doing just enough damage to do a third of his life bar, but yeah, that's with my build though, so keep that in mind. So that's just kind of the things that I've noticed with the Transcendent potential here, that it has helped the characters out, and it looks like it probably gave them, I don't know, 15 to 20% more damage. Does that sound about right? 15-20% more damage, except in the case of Red Skull getting more, almost like a 35 to 40% increase to damage, or something like that. So yeah, that's just what I've noticed so far. If you want me to post the Galactus videos of these characters after I've transcended them, feel free, let me know. If you want me to kind of do a little bit more testing, even though I don't really have much else to kind of back compare against. So I don't really have much, you know, footage of them after awakening them before the update to really compare to. So that's kind of my main issue there. But all of them did get significant stat boosts, as you can see here. For Shadow Shell, she's pushing 2k attack, which isn't a ton, but her HP is up to 40,000, which is actually quite nice. If we look at Doc Ock here, he's got 38k and 23k. She's got 31 and 47k. Mystique here has 21 and 37. So as you can see, they're getting good buffs from their Transcendence, because that's more in line with like a tier 3 in terms of like the HP. We've got 48, 25, 50 and 50. Well, actually, yeah, Jean's a bit of an exception there. What is my Odin at? 45 and 37. So yeah, as you can see, they're getting closer to tier 3s and probably more along the lines of their HP pool, but their attack stat is still noticeably lower than a tier 3, which I guess is to be expected because they're not actual tier 3s. They're supposed to be just a step in between. So in between a tier 2 and a tier 3, we have the awakening characters in terms of power level, but it pushes them a lot closer to tier 3s now that we have that transcendent potential. And if you're wondering why I didn't do Beta Ray Bill, it's because I don't have any footage or any testing of him before the update, because I was still building him and still deciding what I wanted to do with him, so I didn't really have anything recorded. So that's why I don't really have a good comparison of Beta Ray Bill before and after. But he is kind of ready to go now. I just have a placement holder obelisk on him right now that I'm going to test him out with, and then I'm going to decide what I want to put on him after I see what he can do with this regular obelisk here. So all of the Beta Ray video coming out sometime in the future here. But that's going to be it for this one here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of quick little comparison of the before and after for the Transcended potential. Maybe it'll help you give you an idea if you want to transcend these characters, even though you want to do it quickly if you are deciding to transcend them, because right now, of course, we have free transcendence for all of the older transcended characters, so just not Medusa. So Medusa's excluded there. And so I'm deciding if I want to boost up any of the other characters like Amadeus Cho or any of the other Warriors of the Sky. So yeah, let me know if you think any of them are worth it, if I should invest resources in them, because I think I only have enough to do one more character from, you know, level 1 to level 6 for their awakening skill. But that's enough rambling here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and of course I will catch you in the next one.